Oh, okay. I'm excited that that's the second one because that gives me time to think about what that is. So number one, when you're creating a strategy, I think the most important thing is research.
Mhm.
I think you really like
So
this is
persona research, audience research, or compare
yeah. So audio, like if you have a customer base already, like talk to
Mhm.
your potential customer base, your existing customer base, like you really one of the reasons why I'm so proud of the work I did at Help Scout is like I used to be a customer. I started my very first job in tech was in customer support. And I knew everything about them. I knew how annoying it was that like on Thanksgiving, when you show up at grandma's house, like if you were on call that day, you weren't fully relaxed, right? Like something so specific. Like I knew that person really well. So like I would say research, understand whoever your potential customer is going to be really like, and you can't replace conversations with surveys. I think surveys are useful. Like they help you kind of like aggregate information, but like surveys, talking to people, looking at data, looking at what other, what are your competitors doing? Just like really do your research because that's where the ideas are going to come from. Your ideas will come from like you have to, you can't break the wheel until you know how to make the wheel. It's like learn the wheel. So like learn, do the research. And then I would say uh narrow down your tactics and narrow down your tactics. If you try to do everything, it'll be really confusing and hard for you to identify what's working or not.
So example of tactics, for example?
So like a blog strategy. So like maybe in some cases it makes sense if you don't have a blog already, to establish a blog and start writing long form content. There's a sub question, there's a sub strategy in there. What type of content do I start with? How-to content? If I'm bootstrapping and I don't have a marketing team, I'm just the founder, I would probably lean harder on like opinionated stuff for me about the industry, kind of lead with thought leadership. But again, that really depends. So it's like you could write for the blog. You could start with like brand building, use your personal brand to help grow the business. You could, you could even have like an event strategy. You could start a subset. Like, I mean, from the bootstrap perspective, you kind of have like your very limited time. So I think it really, but like the world is your oyster, right? There's a million things that you could do for your specific company. The combination of those few tactics that you choose are going to be very different. But I would say like pick a couple that work together really smartly, and then establish how you're going to measure success at the get-go so that you can say, okay, this thing seems to be, if my goal is, I'm going to use traffic because it's the easiest example. So it's like, this one channel is getting me more traffic. So I'm going to lean harder into that or similar types of things. Or, I'm not actually getting this newsletter I started. Like
Mhm.
for some reason, a ton of people are signing up for trials from this newsletter or whatever, So I think the measuring, like, I don't like to get overly reliant on measurement, but I do think in the early phase, if you're talking about early strategy, it does help you understand what's working or not and helps you know where to concentrate your energy if you're trying to get off the ground.